watching my video reflection. My name is Venkata Potluri and I teach 6th and 7th grade ASD Level 1 students. Most of my students are non-verbal or minimally verbal. They use AAC device, picture symbols, gestures, and other communication supports. Because of this, my classroom looks very different from general education classroom. We focus on communication routines, sensory needs, and structured learning. Every day, I try to create a safe and predictable environment where my students can learn at their own pace. Today, I am sharing my reflection on the TED Talk titled The Opportunity Gap in US Public Education and How to Close It by Anindya Kundu. In this video, I explains why many students struggle in school not because of their lack of ability but because they lack of opportunities. He talks about agency support and the role of the public education. In this reflection, I will sharing two meaningful quotes explain what I learned connect to the ideas to our course text owning it and describe how I plan to use these ideas in my ASD classroom. And I share one idea respectfully disagree with this. I am continuing to read this book to each module, and for this reflection, I focused on the part 3 of the textbook. The first quote that stood out to me was when Kundu said, "We don't have an achievement gap, we have an opportunity gap." This quote stayed with me because it changes how we think about student success. Many people believe that students fail because they are not smart enough or not motivated enough. But Kundu explains that the real problem is access. Some students have tutors, stable homes, enrichment programs, and strong support system. Other students do not. When students do not have the some opportunities, their outcome will not be same. The quote made me think deeply about my own students. My ASD students are capable, curious, and eager to learn, but they face many barriers. Some struggle with communication, some struggle with sensory needs, some struggle with some need of visual supports, extra time, some need repeated practice before they feel confident. If I do not give them the right opportunities, they cannot show what they know. The quote reminded me that my job is not only to teach connect, my job is to create opportunities. I need to remove barriers, provide supports, and make learning accessible. When I do that, my students can succeed. This quote also helped me see that opportunity is not just about academics, it is also emotional safety, belonging, and feeling understood. The second quote is that motivated was me when Kundu said students succeed when they have agency. The capacity to overcome the obstacle and negative system, he explained that grit is not enough. Students need agency. Agency means having the tools, support, and confidence to move forward. Even when life is difficult, students build agency when adults believe on them, guidance them, and give them real chances to practice independence. This quote made me reflect on my own teaching. In my ASD classroom, I often step in quickly because I want my students to be feel safe and successful. But sometimes I help too much. I may be doing the thing for them. This quote reminded me that even small movement of the independence is matter. For my students, agency might look like choosing a symbol and their AAC device, pointing to a picture, or completing a step in routine without help. These small actions build confidence. They show students that they can do things on their own. This quote encouraged me to step back more often and let my students lead in their own way. It also reminded me that agency grows slowly and that is okay. Every small These ideas connected strongly to our course text Owning It by Alex Kajitani. For each module, I read one part of the book. For this reflection, I completed the part 3, which focuses on school culture, teamwork, communication, and supporting teachers. I found several strong connections between the TED Talk and the chapters in the section. The first connection is chapter 15, making meetings an hour to empower. Pages 117 to 122. This chapter explains that strong school culture and teamwork help students succeed. Katijani says that when teachers work together, share ideas, and support each other, students benefit. This connects directly to TED Talk because Kundu explains that students need support systems and carrying adults. Opportunity gaps close when schools create environments where teachers collaborate with communicate. In my ASD classroom, teamwork is essential. I work with paraprofessionals, therapists, and other teachers. When we communicate well, my students receive consistent support. This chapter helped me see that strong adult collaboration is one way to close opportunity gaps. The second connection is to chapter 17, talking about my generation, pages 129 through 135. This chapter discusses understanding differences between people, including generations difference among the teachers. Kajitani explained that people come from different backgrounds and have different experiences, but they can still work together towards a common goal. This connects to TED Talk because Kundu explains that students also come from different backgrounds and face different barriers. When teachers understand these differences, they can support students more effectively. In my ASD classroom, I see this every day. My students communicate differently, learn differently, and respond differently. Understanding their differences help me close opportunity gaps and create a more inclusive environment. The third connection is to the chapter 18. We need to talk pages 137 through 144. This chapter focuses on communication and solving problems. Kajitani explains that good communication helps teacher work through challenges and support students more effectively. This connection to the TED Talk because Kundu says students need adults who communicate well and remove barriers. When teachers communicate clearly and respectfully, they can create stronger support system for students. In my classroom, communication is essential. I communicate with parents, paraprofessionals, therapists, and administrators. When communication is strong, my students receive better support. This chapter reminded me that communication is a key part of the closing opportunity gaps. Thinking about how to implement these ideas, I plan to start with small, structured opportunities for agency. First, I will create choice, choice-based learning stations. Students can choose between two material or two activities. Even a simple choice build agency. Second, I will add AAC sentence starters like I notice, I wonder, and my turn. These help students participate in inquiry and express their thoughts. Third, I will use visual schedules that allow students to move the pieces themselves. This gives them control over the routine. Fourth, I will practice wait time. Instead of helping right away, I will pause and give students time to think. This supports independence and confidence. I also want to create more opportunities for students to show curiosity. If a student looks at a spinning subject for a long time, I can treat that this as a question. We can explore what happens, what spin faster or slower. This helps students feel better than action have the meaning. It also helps me understand what they are interested in. This build the lessons and this interest because interest increases and motivation. Another strategy I want to use is peer to peer interaction. Even if my students communicate differently, they can still learn from each other. I can pair students for simple tasks and the strong matching or exploring materials. This builds social skills and gives students a chance to practice agency with a partner. It also helps them to feel connected to their peers. While I agreed with most of the TED talk, there was one idea I do not fully agree with that suggests that students can build agency by navigating systems on their own. When this is true for many students, it does not always work the same way in a special education setting. My ASD students often need clear routine, visual supports, and step by step guidance. If I step back too much, some students may feel confused or anxious. Agency for my students must be supported, structured, and safe. They need scaffolding, not independence, all at once. So while I agree with the goal or agency, I would adapt the strategy to fit the needs of my learners. Agency should grow slowly with support, not suddenly. To close, the TED Talk helped me think deeply about opportunity agency and equity. It reminded me that all students can succeed when they have the right support. This module has helped me grow as a teacher and reflect on my own habits. I am grateful for the chance to learn, improve, and think about how to create more opportunities for my ASD students. I look forward to continue this learning journey during the summer and building on everything I have learned so far. Thank you, Dr. Crosby, for your guidance and for helping me. Um, Thank you so much. Bye. See you next time.